in two ways. There is an easy, quick way that involves a deep conceptual or a better conceptual understanding, and then there's a long way if you're iffy about the concept. So let's just understand what's happening here. So it tells us that these two functions are linear, f and g, and they have them graphed here. So they then define h of x as basically the sum of these two linear functions. And they ask us to determine h prime of x. Now, h prime of x represents the slope of the tangent line at any point x. Now, both of these lines, f of x and g of x, are linear. So their tangent lines, the slope of their tangent lines, or h prime of x, right, is just f prime of x plus g prime of x. And the slope of the tangent line to f of x is just the slope of this line. So basically, if you pick a point here, the tangent line is that line right there. And the slope of that line is exactly whatever the slope is, which is just 1 plus. And if you look at g of x, the slope of the tangent line for g of x is this line, or the tangent line is just the line itself again. And if you look at the slope of that line, you take two nice points. I got to go down 2, and then I got to run 3. So it's negative 2/3 is g prime of x. And then the sum of these two things, 1 plus negative 2/3, is positive 1/3 for h prime of x. Now, that's the better way. So I don't know why I put 3 x h prime of x, sorry, is 1/3. Now, that's sort of like the quick interpretation, but you could actually just take your time with this, right? You could say, well, f of x. F of x is this linear function right here with a y-intercept of 1. So y, or f of x, I'll write f of x, which is just y, is equal to mx plus b. M is 1 and b is 1, so it's 1 times x plus 1. And you could do the same thing for g. You could say g is g of x is equal to this time b is 2, so b is 2 plus, and the slope is down 2 over 3, negative 2/3 x plus 2. And now you have equations for f of x and g of x. You can add these two to get an equation for h of x. You're going to get negative 1/3 x plus 3, and then you could differentiate h of x, which is again just going to be, if you look at this, negative 1/3 times the derivative of x is 1, so it's negative 1/3 times 1, plus the derivative of 3 is 0 because it's a constant, and h prime of x is when I add these two, 1 plus negative 2/3 is positive 1/3, so it's 1/3 x plus 3, and then I apologize, and then the derivative of 1/3 x is just 1/3, and then that's it, and we're done. Either which way.